Hi, it's Rebecca. It's Metaphysical Monday again, and I want to welcome you to Inner Power Training, where we learn how to use our creative imagination, our consciousness, our divine connection to infinite intelligence to manifest what we desire in this life. It makes life so much more interesting. It really does. I wish you could all get passionate about learning how to step off the matrix and connect with your higher self. Because once you do that, you get rid of anxiety, you get rid of stress, you find things like these LifeWave patches, which are stimulating my stem cells. And even though I would be called what they say is elderly in this three-dimensional world, I don't feel like I am. I'll be 79 in May this year. A lot of people that age, I see them on YouTube, I see them around, and they think they're old. You don't have to be old. You can be whatever you want to be. It's all a mindset. I tell young people, they'll go, oh, well, I'm only in my 20s, or maybe they'll say, you're old because of your age. I don't care how old you are, what gender you are, where you're from. What I'm interested in is, are you awake? Awake and asleep are the two different um, levels of consciousness that we're dealing with in this dimension. The more people that wake up, the sooner we can shift into the golden age and live in harmony and peace and happiness. And, the muddy waters are being stirred all the time because that's what has to happen for everything to come to the surface so you can look at it. You have to face the unpleasant things in life in order to see them disappear, melt away. Every time I've stood up to illness or a frightening situation and really stood up to it and declared the truth that there is no such thing as this thing that is trying to convince me that it's in my experience, be it an accident, an illness, whatever, it disappears. It dissipates. Here I am, you got as far as you've gotten so far. So it's proof that good always wins out over evil. Evil isn't real if you don't give it power. Don't give it power. Let me explain to you in this video, though, how you can use your imagination to manifest in the three-dimensional world. Just like I was taught back when I was 21, when I first started my flying career. I've talked about it before, but you can never hear it enough because you have to reinforce it every day. Every day you have to remind yourself, I'm in the driver's seat. I'm connected to my higher self. There is a God. God is only good. God is bringing me everything I desire as long as I believe it. Ask as if you've already received and it will be given unto you. Listen to what Jesus had to say. He was trying to teach people while he was walking the earth. His message has lasted because it's so powerful. It's so true. It's so real. It has everything in it that you need to know in order to free yourself from being stuck. You don't have to be stuck. Let me give you 3 steps to manifest. Number 1, you have to have total clarity that this is what you want to manifest. Every time I've really had a successful manifestation that happened quite effortlessly, quite quickly, I knew exactly what I needed. I needed to move. I needed to make more money. I needed to buy something. I needed to transfer. I needed to find the right outfit for something I was going to, whatever it is. If you're clear on the fact that you really, really, really desire this thing, it's not like an iffy, well, if I don't get it, that's okay. That doesn't work. That's putting one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake, and you get nothing because you're not committed. You have to be committed. Just like I committed myself to figure out how this world works to a certain extent. So what did I do? Well, I attracted an experience of seeing 3 UFOs up close, motivated me to become a crew member so I could travel the world and interview people and check things out and experience different cultures, which I did for 35 years. which motivated me to become a meditation teacher, travel the country, meeting people from all over the world, teaching them how to shift their consciousness so that they can actually get to a frequency where they can manifest, heal, attract what they need. You can't do it at the beta level. You've got to be able to go within and find that inner place where you can actually go into your workshop, close the door from your worldly senses, and make your inner world more real than your outer world. Then you can manifest. And if you understand that you're just a little blip in the physical dimension, in this body, and you are really an eternal being who was never born and will never die and will always be operating somewhere, somehow, some way, you take it more seriously because you begin to understand you have this incredible divine given power within you. That's why I call it inner power training. So number one, get clarity on what you want. Really know that you really, really want to get this more than anything. It's very important. It'll take you to the next step. Whatever that one thing is that you need to do, get clarity. Number two, write it down. You can use a magic notebook and write down descriptions of the new you when you have that thing that you so strongly desire, how your life will be manifesting. And you can write that down every day. Journaling is a wonderful way to connect with your higher self. Writing longhand. Wonder why they wanted to take cursor writing out of the schools. It's very, very powerful when you write things out. We also know that people who write down their goals achieve them more than people who don't. So it's important to get it down on paper. It clarifies it, it solidifies it in your subconscious mind. And the third thing you need to do in order to be a good manifester is to look at what you've written when you go to sleep at night, keep it by your bed, and when you wake up in the morning. Because when you're falling asleep at night, you're going down into that alpha, theta level of consciousness where you can easily go within. And when you read what you've written, it only has to be one statement. It doesn't have to be a big paragraph. But if you've got one statement that you can really resonate with, and then read it when you're falling asleep at night, and when you wake up in the morning, you will eventually just manifest it into your life because you will know how to find it. You will have that inner guidance. The reticular activating system is always looking for what you're programmed into your subconscious mind, be it a way to protect you or a way to manifest or whatever you need. It knows how to go out and find it. It's like magic. It's like a miracle. Miracles happen like this because we're not really living in a physical universe. We're living in a mental universe. We are projecting our thoughts into the world, and what we project into the world comes back to us. So it's so important to do that inner work. You don't want to be walking around with a dark cloud over your head. People who do that attract problems, accidents. You know, they call it the law of accident that you could be living under rather than the law of grace and divine protection. You get a lot of protection when you make yourself a positive person who tries to uplift other human beings in your life's journey. Why would you want to be a downer? People that are really down right now, I feel bad for them because honestly, I know enough about consciousness to know that you become what you think about all the time. And if you just think everything's getting worse and worse, well, it'll get worse and worse for you. But if you think it's getting better and better, and we're going through a shift, and we're right around the corner from a whole new way of living that's positive, you will be happy. You will attract the things you want, not the things that you're turning yourself against. You know, be careful what you wish for because Your greatest fear can also come upon you. That was my first big lesson in spiritual healing. I worried so much about cancer, I attracted it. And then, lo and behold, though, I had a spontaneous healing, which taught me a lot. Like, you can actually heal yourself. And that's why I wrote this book, The Secrets of Manifesting, a Practical Guide. You can find it on Amazon. And I wrote this book along with it called The Secret to Manifesting Mastery. And it's got a workbook and journal in it to help you master. It's really, really powerful. There's 30 pages in the back of this book where you can write down in your journal with all these powerful techniques that I've put in these two books so that you can actually transform yourself from whatever you are now to a better version. You can't beat that, because there's nothing better than freeing yourself mentally from this bondage, this programming, this heaviness that everyone gets into until they figure out how to find their way out. And usually humans only find their way out when they have a really devastating experience. Like I did. I had a terrible diagnosis, but thank God I was awake enough from maybe past life experiences or whatever that I didn't go the route that was presented to me. I took the leap of faith, and guess what? There was a net that caught me and transformed my life. It was scary to take the leap, I have to say, because I had no clue how it would work. But once it worked, and I trusted that God could heal me, and God did heal me, I became like a new person. And I'm very, very grateful that I went through that experience, even though at the time it was the worst fear I had ever, ever, ever felt in my life. And we are all tested in this dimension. We all get different tests at different times in different ways because we're all unique. But that's my story. I like to share it because maybe it can help someone. Go to my website, RebeccaTripp.com, if you want to find out more about what I do.